Good morning. Again, I'm Bob Clarke, Director of Public Works. And it sounds a little loud, but maybe that's just me or my cold. On the first topic on recycling, I'd like to just say that we are being hosted by the Italian government and the communities around Vicenza. The one big reason we do this is to be good residents, as well as to comply with DoD and Army standards on solid waste diversion, is what we call it, when we're not putting it in a landfill, but we're finding other ways to reuse our waste. But those are the two biggest reasons we do it. And there is also possibility of fines either out in the community or to the government for noncompliance with the recycling. I haven't heard any anecdotes that people have experienced those, but they are out there throughout Europe, I believe. And the biggest reason is just that it's the right thing to do for the community, right thing to do for our families and environment here. One thing I'd like to point out is just a few points about the way we use the Eco Center and the way we use Eco Centers out in town. Right now, I'd like to say we have the big Eco Center here in Ederle, up by the soccer field, behind the what's known as the USARAF motor pool, up in the North 40 behind the Ederle Inn, and also the ones out in town. So what if you can go back to that slide, I'm sorry, that had the how do I sort my waste? Okay, one more back. The recycling bins out in town. Every comune is different. Even areas of the city of Vicenza are different. And what I like to stress is the housing office, when you sign your lease, or even after the fact, if you've lost paperwork in the shuffle, can provide a comune info sheet on how waste is sorted in each of the residence areas. And I would say that even within the city of Vicenza, there's several areas. If I walked 3 blocks in one direction from my house and 3 blocks in another direction, the way the waste bins are labeled are a little different. So I'd ask people to be careful about what they're putting in the waste bins and just pay attention to the labeling out in town. Some have keys, and the housing office also can assist with the issuance or any kind of trouble with the keys. Some of them are proximity card keys that limit the waste to the residents, that comune. So next slide. This is the just the labeling of the waste bins here at the Eco Center on Ederle, and I'd also like to point out we're opening one in Deldin as well. These pictures are from Ederle and some of the sorting and segregation of the waste. Also like to point out we have a contract with AIM, the local utility provider and the local waste transporter, AIM, and that provides us a manning throughout the weekdays at the Eco Center here in Ederle. So if there's any issues about the way the waste is sorted, we have a man there that there's a little office just as you enter the Eco Center, and he can help with segregation. There's another thing that came up on ICE comments, I'd like to bring it up now, is that we know that we're a different community than most of the communes where Eco Center recycling is not allowed. Really, if it's in the Eco Center out in town, it's not allowed to be recouped. Here on base, we do allow some of the appliances. People have things as their PCS, and they'll bring them to the Eco Center because they just didn't make the shipment, or they're not appropriate to bring back to the States because of the voltage. Some of those things are in the Eco Center on pallets close to the entrance. What our IM personnel does also is look for what's serviceable and non-serviceable, and tries to sort the stuff that's serviceable closest to where the cars park. And the stuff that's non-serviceable, sometimes the cords are actually cut before things are brought in, but they'll try to label them and get them farther back. So we would encourage people to look for things that they could use there in that area, but not to go into the dumpster bins themselves. So no dumpster diving. Okay, next slide. So this is just a graphic of where the Eco Center is up by the soccer field. All right. What I'd like to say also is that this is the primary and reason why we're bringing this up in December. A lot of boxes coming in and a lot of boxes being packed. A lot of waste is generated, plastic bubbles and cardboard. We would like to encourage people to use the Eco Center to to bring cardboard to, and not the small office waste bins that are located, say, for instance, across the street from the school, behind the Ederly Inn, in front of the Building 109. We'd like for people to use the Eco Center because some of the cardboard would really just encumber all those areas, and the parking lots become full, and cars can't get by, things like that. So please use the Eco Center. That's the message. So next slide. And just to let you know where we are, it's a good news story. We actually are above Army norms. We're at 56%, and Army norms goals for us right now would be at 50%. So we're doing well, but part of that is we're living in a heavy recycling country. The local community norms in Italy are towards 75%, so we still have a ways to go, and there's still some things we can do. So, and that's it on recycling.